Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life. And this movie came out in 2003 and it stars Angelina Jolie, Gerard Butler, and this time it's directed by John DeBont, if I pronounced that correctly. And I've seen some of his movies, like Speed, and I know he did Twister, and, not the greatest track record, and I believe he also did The Haunting, which was not very good in my opinion, and then he did this. And this was the last movie that he directed, which I find to be kind of interesting. And I was excited to watch this movie because it was a sequel to Lara Croft Tomb Raider, and I find that movie to be absolutely hilarious and just exactly what I would want. Very funny movie. Would definitely rewatch it first chance I get. And I was excited for this simply because it would be the first movie all over again, but done a bit differently. And that's what I got. And the 2-hour runtime, I was worried a little bit. I was like, okay, maybe we'll see how this goes. And this movie was a step down from the first movie for sure, but still pretty funny. I feel as though at least an hour of this movie is pretty great and very funny, and I was just laughing at it. Ridiculous stuff happening in these action scenes. Dialogue is just terrible, and everything that I would have wanted in a sequel to Lara Croft Tomb Raider is in this movie, just in a movie that's unnecessarily long. Like, why is this movie 2 hours? Just keep it nice and short. Don't go over that 90-minute ballpark like the first movie. Like, the first movie is an hour and 40. This movie did not need to go over that runtime, in my opinion. And in this movie, was I ever attached to any of the characters? No. Was the acting very cheesy and over the top? Yep. Just like the first movie, but unfortunately, it's just not in service of something that's, like, consistently entertaining for me. And because of that, it does drag at certain points. And I was really with the movie in the first 20 minutes. Like, that was awesome. That was hilarious. I loved that. And we have, like, ridiculous gymnastics stuff going on for no reason, which I found to be kind of funny. Apparently, this movie took a page out of Jaws the Revenge and gave sharks noises and vocals. That was pretty funny. And I found that to be hilarious. Even though it wasn't in the movie very much, it was still very funny and I loved it. The visual effects in this movie looked dated and bad. Not that they were used too much in this movie, but still, when they show up, they don't look the best. And just like the first movie, this film has logic that's dumber than video games that came out around this time. There was no tension in any of the action scenes. There were no characters to latch onto or care about. There was ultimately nothing to enjoy unironically in this movie. So all I have left is the tone. When that's the case, it can either be very entertaining or very boring. Depends on the movie. But this movie, it was kind of almost 50-50. Parts of it were kind of boring, parts of it were very entertaining, parts of it were like, okay, that's happening, and I don't really care about what's happening. But one thing that really stood out to me is that Lara Croft does all of her training in her giant mansion or anywhere on her property. And instead of going to like a gym or having a gym in her mansion, she just does all this stuff in her house and just destroys anything that's in her way. I found that to be quite funny. And there were parts of this movie where I did have to watch it at 1.5 times speed because I was just getting kind of bored. Which is kind of weird because I didn't feel as though I needed to for the first movie. Like that movie, I could enjoy at 1.0 times speed, the entire runtime, never put it at 1.5 times speed, even for 1 second in the first movie. This movie, I kind of had to do that because I just felt as though my time wasn't being respected in the same way. And because of that, it did make it a bit more painful to sit through. There were lots of goofy sound effects in this movie that I loved. Just over the top, putting a knife down or just anything. This movie was just a big cartoon with ridiculous stuff in it, and if that's the kind of thing that you want, and you're looking for a so bad it's good movie, this movie works. If you're not looking for that, then skip this movie. It's not going to be for you. And the music was kind of all over the place in this movie. It just kept shifting between tones, and within the first 5 minutes of this movie, it had at least 3 different songs, all had different tones to them, and I couldn't really figure out what this movie was going for tone-wise, which at the very least it made it entertaining to watch because I was just blown away with how stupid it was, and I was honestly having trouble just keeping up with the movie because I was taking notes as I was watching it, and I was like, okay, I can only type so fast with taking notes, and I'm trying to pay attention to what's going on in the movie. So, and that's about all I have to say about Lara Croft Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life. It was dumb, stupid, in a way just what I wanted, but in a way not quite hitting the mark for me. So just a bit more boring version of the first movie, but still, if I were to watch this movie in a group, I think I'll have a great time. Whereas the first movie I can just watch by myself and have a great time, but I'm sure I'll have a great time if I watch that in a group. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on both of these movies. And one more thing that I want to mention before I wrap everything up. And I don't believe I mentioned this in my review for the first Lara Croft Tomb Raider film, nor did I mention the Tomb Raider film in 2018, I think is when it came out. And that is, I haven't actually played any of the games. Some people might be surprised that I said that, some might not, but I'll get to them at some point because I am trying to get into video games. There are some that I like God of War I really enjoyed, and I'm currently playing Elden Ring. That's a lot of fun, and it's just stuff that I'm able to get into if it's right for me and I'm able to connect with what it's going for. But anyways, that's about all I have to say, so if you're looking for a so bad it's good movie, then check this movie out. If not, skip it. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Lara Croft Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life a 1 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below your thought of Lara Croft Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Wild at Heart. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.